people. I just got a new Cambridge Turquoise Bible with a buffalo hide cover. And it has, see if I can do this, it has the typical presentation pages. See if I can get this to focus. Yeah. There it is. That always depresses me to open a Bible and see this part. And here we go. It is a Cambridge University Press turquoise cross-reference with punctuation marks. It has, I have to say, my first quibble is that it has very thin paper with quite a bit of ghosting. Publisher's page, and then you have the dedicatory, and you've got the translators to the reader, and that is a very small font. I would guess that that's probably a 5-point font, so you're going to need a very good pair of glasses or a magnifying glass to read this. Obviously, the people who made this wanted to keep the Bible as small as possible because the paper is very thin and the text font in the front and in the back are very, very small to reduce the number of pages necessary. Yeah, let's see, here we have the contents page, which is just like it is found in the 1611. The names in order of all the books of the Old and New Testament with the number of their chapters. Yes, I'm having a little trouble turning the pages because they're so thin. These pages are going to wrinkle real easy, so you have to be careful with this. The first book of Moses called Genesis, and the first thing I notice is that the chapter blurbs aren't here. That sucks. I really like those King James Bible chapter blurbs or descriptions that usually go right here. But again, obviously their goal was to keep this Bible from becoming 2 inches thick. The text font is fantastic, the turquoise font. I really like that. It's extremely readable, and the references are very readable too. And they're right next to the, you find them right next to where the numbers and letters are. Alright. So, I like the fact that it has the italicized text. You know, the King James Bible translators had to add words so that this could be read and people could understand it. And whatever words they added, they put in italics. See if I can find an example somewhere. Right here. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth. So are is italicized. And there was is italicized. So that's good, because not all King James Bibles have that. One thing I don't like about this particular Bible is the self-pronouncing text. There's a lot of punctuation marks there that, as far as I'm concerned, make it more difficult to read it and not less. And you can really see that in Matthew, genealogy part of Matthew. Let's see if I can bring that up here. Right here. All these names with all these punctuation marks all the way down. Look at that one. There's so many punctuation marks. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4 words on the line, and the last word has to be contracted. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of these. I mean, look at that mess here. I'm not a big fan of that at all. It's not helpful. But the rest of the text block is extremely nice. It's my favorite font, the turquoise font, and the fact that there are about 5 to 6 words per line make this very readable. One of the other things I look for in a King James is to see if the epistle subscriptions are there. Let's see if I can find an example here. If I can find the end of one of them. Again, it's kind of hard to turn these pages because they're so thin. All right, here's the end of this book here. And we have the second epistle to the Corinthians. It was written from Philippi, a city of, and here again you even have the self-pronouncing text and these microscopically small subscriptions. Sorry about that noise. I have a chihuahua barking at my African gray parrot by Titus and Lucas. So yeah, these subscripts or subscriptions that are at the end of all of Paul's epistles are in the manuscripts, and they're, as far as I'm concerned, if a King James Bible doesn't have these, that's not a good thing. Another thing I look for in these King James Bibles, let me just look at my notes here, I don't want to forget anything. Are the book names. If we go back to Genesis, a lot of these King James Bibles have the Catholic Bible book titles in them instead of the book titles as they appear in the 1611 King James. Like this is supposed to have the first book of Moses called Genesis. Well, a lot of these King James Bibles just say Genesis, and of course they're trying to cast doubt on the authorship. So you have to go through all the book titles and make sure they're right, because they're oftentimes not right. Let's see what else. Yeah, I went through the chapter blurbs not being here. So, the Cambridge Turquoise, very nice, very, very readable in parts that don't have a lot of self-pronouncing text. But the downside is the paper is very thin, wrinkles easy. It's a bit difficult to turn. It doesn't have the chapter blurbs where they belong. It does have these chapter numbers, sequential chapter numbers that go all the way from the beginning to the end. So that's kind of cool. You don't see that often. But that's about it. It's very well made, of course. And it was, I think it was $200. It was expensive. And this is referred to by some people as the pure, oh, see, I folded a page over. And that'll have a crease there for a long time, forever maybe. Yeah, this is also a red letter text. And the red lettering it's only available in red lettering. If there was a black lettering version, I would have gotten that. But this red lettering is pretty dark and pretty sharp compared to a lot of other red letter Bibles I've looked at. In fact, it's not as good as the Schuyler, but it's close. Yeah, that'll work. All right, I think that's about it. Here's the concordance, and as you can see, the text is really small. I mean, really. So you're going to need a magnifying glass to use this. And, of course, the maps are always awesome in the Cambridge Bibles. I don't think I need to show you those. They're good. They're always good. Then you have a color-coded index for the maps. Sorry for the movement. My regular camera is charging. I'm using my phone. So yeah, here's the cover. It's got a leather liner and a buffalo hide exterior. It says Holy Bible on the front, and King James Version, red letter edition, which is the only edition they have, Cambridge. Yeah, look, if you look at the thickness, it's still kind of thick considering the paper is so thin, so I can understand why they did what they did. Still, this Bible would be much better if it didn't have the self-pronouncing text, because it's particularly annoying in this printing, and it would be better if it had the chapter blurbs. I can get by with the thin paper, and the paper's got a slight, very slight cream tint. It'd be better if it were whiter, but it's still good. Still good paper. I don't think it's gonna rip. If you want to take a look at the artwork on the edge, so it's red or salmon colored, and then of course gold when you close it. Let's see if I can get that. All right, you're probably getting dizzy, so I'll end the video right here.